This podcast is brought to you by WorthItLifestyle.com, shipping worldwide healthy sweeteners and products for the paleo lifestyle. Go check out their new Build Your Own Protein Powder at WorthItLifestyle.com. All right, we are here with Maria Richardson from the Nordic Design Collective.com. And right now she is gathering some of the best designers from around Sweden and the rest of Scandinavia who are making some really impressive stuff. Anything from art prints to other things you can use around your home. She's gathering it all in one place, and she has a success story in her e-commerce business we really want to share, and we're excited to hear what she has to share with us. So Maria, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing, because it looks amazing over there.
Thank you. I'm from a designer background myself, so I know from experience that as a designer, you really want to focus on being creative and not get into too much technical stuff and sales and marketing. So we're helping all of the creative independent designers that we're working with. We're helping them out with those kind of services. And for consumers as well, it's really difficult to know where to find all of these. I mean, the products are amazing, like you said, and the people that we're working with, they're so passionate. It's really great to be working with them. But it's really hard for the consumer to find them because you don't know what you're going to search for and where to search. And a lot of people don't even know that this exists because you only see when you go into the malls and the stores, it's the same brands everywhere.
And it's an e-commerce site with independent designer, right?
Yes, it is.
And is it only Swedish or Scandinavian or?
It's mostly Swedish at the moment. We have a couple of Finnish designers as well, and we're expanding and bringing in from the rest of Scandinavia as well.
Okay.
You know, one of the things I noticed on your site is that you arrange some things really well together, and I attribute that to your design background, and it really works really well because you're putting together stuff that complements each other, and when I look at the whole picture, I really want to purchase everything you put together. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
So do you do that yourself? Like as you have a designer background, do you do those kind of photo shoots and everything yourself, or?
Yeah, actually I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's sort of the fun part of my job.
Yeah, I mean, imagine.
There's always some, fun parts and some lesser fun parts in every job. That's the best part.
Okay.
Yeah. That's sort of the treat for myself to be able to do that. But I'm also want to work more with external designers and stylists and photographers. So we're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a blog as well on the site?
Yeah, we do.
Is that one of the major inspiration parts for your business, or what do you use the blog for?
Yeah, mainly to talk about the designers and the products and what's going on with our business as well. So mainly it's focused about our business, not design in general. But then we occasionally go out on trend spotting trips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of designers. It's 100 or?
Yeah, it's over 100.
Wow.
I think it's 102 at the moment. It's sort of changing from day to day.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we can get into. You've done this for a long time, and you've learned a lot of lessons along the way. But I wonder if we can start with maybe what you feel is the biggest accomplishment or the greatest success that you've had with this. So in all your time doing this, what's the greatest thing you feel you've been able to take away from running the Nordic Design Collective?
The greatest things that I've experienced. I think the feedback from the customers and our designers is the best thing about working with this. We have thousands of customers coming to us and buying things, and they just love shopping on our site, and they're telling us, which is amazing. And also from our designers, they're getting a channel to reach out and sort of get more attention, and that is really helpful for them, which I'm also very, very happy to be able to supply.
Yeah, I really appreciated that you have segments in your blog where you introduce the designers, and you show the pictures, and you tell a little bit about who they are and what their life is like and why they're doing this, like you said. And I'm curious, working so close with some of these designers, has it resulted in some really good friendships?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, they are amazing people. And I think that is one of the things that sort of get lost in buying products from the major brands. You don't know the story behind it, and that is what makes the stuff on our site unique, that there is a story behind every brand and there is a story behind every designer. So that is something that I really want to highlight.
Is the site also a place for them to stay independent, that they can sell through your site and stay independent?
Yeah, and I think that there's also a big trend among the design community today that, the younger designers who are coming out of schools and so on, they more often want to create their own brand and sort of take charge of their own brand instead of just working as a freelance designer for a major brand. Because, to be honest, the design business is it's a tough business. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are talented and want to work in it, and there's not a lot of jobs. If you want to get a proper job as a designer, it's really, really difficult. So most people are going to be a freelance, and I see it more and more that the designers want to create their own brand and sort of take charge of the manufacturing and the PR and everything. So for them, this is a great channel.
Okay. Is it a lot of new designers, or is it also seasoned designers that come to you?
It's mainly new designers.
So is that like part of their startup process with their design, try out products?
Yeah, I would say so. And it's a great platform to do that, because it's really easy you can just, take a photograph of a prototype. You don't really have to have the product itself. Take a picture of the prototype and put it up there and see if anybody wants to buy it.
Cool. So how long have you been doing e-commerce?
It's a long time now. I think it's about 6 years.
That's a long time in that business.
It is.
That's a really long time.
I had a question. I was wondering, what were you doing before you were doing e-commerce? Because you are a designer.
Yeah, I'm a designer. I've been working a lot with the web. I was actually one of the first employees at MSN in Sweden at Microsoft. So I've been working, with the content and with the marketing from that perspective, and doing freelance work and a lot of web work. So I have as much, business and internet and web background as a design background.
Looks like it's worked out really good for you, though.
Yeah, thanks.
That's like a good combination if you're going to do a design site.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's really important to have the design background as well, to understand the struggles and the questions and the challenges that the designers have. So it's good to have their point of view as well.
Now, are there some lessons that you were able to learn early on that you can share with people who maybe are just starting out about important things to know when you run your own e-commerce store?
Well, I've learned a lot of lessons, which I think is a good sign. And I mean, that's just the way the startup world is. You're making mistakes all the time. But I think one of the things, especially related to e-commerce, there's always a lot of experts out there who has a lot of truths about how you're going to do things. Some people say SEO is the most important thing for your business, especially in e-commerce. SEO is really, really important. There's other people who are talking about PR and marketing, and everybody have their sort of own agenda and being the expert on their area. And for us, being in the business that we are, we don't really, working with SEO, it's important to have brands or keywords that there's a lot of search volume on. And since we're working with independent designers, nobody knows about them. So there's not a lot of search volume in there. So what I've been doing is focusing a lot on PR, both for our brand and also for the designers to make people search for them. It's more or less impossible, not impossible, but it's difficult to try to get a good ranking on home decoration or design because it's too wide. Everybody wants to be on there. It's like IKEA and Arne Jacobsen and us. I mean, it's really for the consumer who is trying to find us. What should they be searching for on Google to be able to find us? It's really difficult. So I've been focusing on PR instead of SEO. Not saying that SEO is not important, because it is very important. But the way our business works, we had to think another way. And I think that is maybe one of the key learnings, that you have to sort of learn your business and work from your business and not listen to everybody else. And always think about the customer. Who is the customer? What are they thinking? What are they reading? Which blogs are they reading? What magazines? When are they searching for the product that you're selling?
Did you start out with doing just PR or just see search optimization, or did you do both? And when did you kind of change path or realize that for your business it was better with PR?
I think I realized that quite early, because I was sort of, doing the exercise. Okay, I have to find my keywords, and started to think, if I'm going to search for something and I want to be able to find Nordic Design Collective, and I couldn't really define the keywords myself. And if I can't define it, how on earth is the customer is going to do it? So I think that was, when I realized that, okay, we have to build a big brand for our marketplace. But SEO is really, really important, and we're working a lot more with that at the moment.
So if you start out with an e-commerce, your first e-commerce site, and you want to get fast traction, it would actually be a good idea to have some big brands there just to get people into the site?
Yeah, or something to make people talk about it.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that big brands to be able to work with the SEO, but maybe not too big brands, because that makes it a lot of competitive and expensive keywords, or try to find a very special niche to work in, because it's more easier to find the customers in I don't know, special forums or something.
Now, you mentioned finding your customers and knowing where they are and going there to get them. Where are your customers right now?
Well, for us, our customers are sort of, mainly end consumers and late adopters. So for us, for instance, it would not, trying to work with PR to get on TechCrunch wouldn't help us, because our customers are not there. And I think that is really important for everybody to think about, where are your customers? Are your customers on TechCrunch? Yeah, of course, you should try to get on there. Or maybe if you're working to get an investment, you should be, trying to get on TechCrunch. But just because everybody's talking about, one specific channel, TechCrunch or otherwise, if your customer is not there, it's no good to be there. So you really have to think about, where are my customers? What is the goal with the PR and the message that I'm sending?
And that's kind of typical, that people kind of get stuck, romanticize the startup world, and they think that I have to be where everybody else in the startup world is, instead of focusing on the customers.
And I think it's really easy to think about the startup world as the whole world. I think of the startup world as my colleagues, not my customers.
Yeah.
So it's really important to separate the two.
When we had Richardsson here from Relation Desk, he also told me about that he said you shouldn't care too much about startup events. You have to. I don't go to startup conferences. I have to focus my time where my clients and my customers are, and they're not there.
Yeah.
So there is no point for me being there.
No, unless you want to, meet colleagues and discuss your struggles or get new inspiration in terms of building the business. That makes good sense to go there, but not to find customers.
And I think a lot of people, they kind of mix that together and think it's the same place.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun environment to be in.
It is. I love it.
What in PR, is there a certain strategy or channel that you're using that you really seem to get good results from?
We're working a lot of with a lot of interior design bloggers and with some print magazines as well. And it's quite easy because we have amazing products, so so they want to feature us, which is a good thing. Otherwise, we're working a lot with our social media as well, which is a really important channel.
So which social media platforms are important for your designers?
Our blog is one of our key platforms, and Instagram is turning out to be a very, very useful channel. At least in Sweden. I think this differs a bit between countries. We've thought that Pinterest would be a great one. We haven't really gotten the results we want yet.
It's kind of, it's very popular in the US and very big in the US, but it's just starting out here in Sweden. It's mostly designers themselves who use
it is.
Pinterest.
Yeah,
I know, I have all my designer friends on Pinterest.
But the main the customers hasn't come on to Pinterest yet, but they are coming on Instagram. I think that the growth in Instagram in Sweden is much faster than in Pinterest and Facebook, of course. Our audience is a very wide audience, so Facebook is good for that.
Our sponsors, worthItlifestyle.com, I was talking with Ben and Emily who run that over there, and they have their own health food store, and it's kind of newly opened, and they've had some really great success with Instagram also. People who are finding that stuff just on Instagram are making special trips, maybe a little bit out of their way to make sure they stop in as they pass the area of town where they know their shop is. So people who would never come to that area, would never come to the store, are coming to visit just because of what they saw on Instagram. So it's working.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think it's because it's really, really easy to use for the user. It's so easy to leave a comment. So we're seeing that a lot more on Instagram than on other channels.
It's more engagement.
Yeah, it is. It is.
One thing I was wanting to know, I heard that you have you've managed to find some ways to automate parts of your store, and I'm interested just to hear a few things that you learned about how to automate your e-commerce business.
I've always tried to design the business so I don't have to work with it as much. So our entire system is built on the designers doing a lot of the work. So they're adding the products, they're uploading the images, they're setting the price for the products. And also once the orders get in, we send an email to the designers, and they're sending the product straight from the designer to the end customer. So we don't really handle the orders manually. It's built into the system. And the reason for that is, there are plenty of reasons. First of all, it's kind of a boring work. but also it's about building a scalable business. If I was supposed to add all the products, I would be doing that 24/7. And also, if I would need to handle all the orders, that would be, two persons job 24/7. Now a lot of that work is handled by the designer, so there's a lot of people sharing the work, so it's not as big. And also it gives the designers ownership of their products and their orders, which I think is really important as well.
And then if that's a learning curve for them to start with Nordic Design Collective to start selling their design, they're actually learning about the kind of back end of the fashion or designer industry, because it's a lot of work with shipping and logistics.
Yes,
so that's actually good for them to learn.
Yeah, I think so. So we're trying to help them as much as possible, but I also think it's very important for them to, to be involved in the orders and the product handling and, learning that part as well.
Are there any other tools or resources that you would recommend to people who are kind of in the early stages of their e-commerce site?
Well, I think one of the best tools might be MailChimp. I love email marketing, which is usually quite underrated. So make sure that you collect email addresses and then use email marketing, which is really, really powerful. We're sending out a newsletter every week, at least once a week, and that is always the best day of the week in terms of sales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you put in that newsletter? Is it inspiration or?
Yeah, we usually put products on a different specific theme, or just show off new products or new designers. I mean, the designers are putting up new products almost every day, so we always have a lot of news to share. So it's really, for us, we always have a lot of content to put in there. But I think that you should, it's also very important to be top of mind at your consumers. So I don't think that every newsletter that we're writing is, the best one. And sometimes we're doing it maybe just a bit too quick. But I think it's important to, remind the customers that, well, we're still here, we still have a lot of news, we still have a lot of great products. So please come back and see us.
And I mean, that's also like Instagram or other channels to bring the experience to the customer.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of say, hi, we're here.
Yeah, don't forget about us. Yeah.
And for me as a consumer, when I see that you have new stuff being added every day, and I have had past experiences where I'm very satisfied, I'm really incentivized to come and check it out some more. So it's really just keeping the momentum just on individual basis with your customers, because I mean, there's something constantly there for them to go back and see.
Yeah, and it's great stuff. I mean, I'm really, really happy about the designers and the stuff they're doing.
And it's good also for the type of products you have, that is interior design, because building a home takes a long time.
Yeah.
And you have to actually think about so many details.
Yeah.
So you need kind of that constant stream to find those kind of like golden nuggets that you really want. So,
and you're never ready, because you might want to change the color scheme according to seasons, or after a year with the same pictures on the walls, you want to change them because you're sort of getting bored of them. So we're getting a lot of return customers, and also a lot of return. Actually, I did a survey with some of my press contacts, and they're saying that they are visiting our site every week to find the news. So they're coming to us to find the news. I don't have to feed them with the news, which is...
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
That's good PR work.
Yes. I'm happy about that.
Good job.
And I mean, that's also, as it's independent designers, if they're going to find anything new in the business, I mean, that's where they have to go. Because the big brands are more like, they come afterwards.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you can tell us that you have any goals coming up? Anything? What's the next thing you want to do for your brand, for your site? Is there something?
Well, I always have a lot of plans. But one of the things that we're going to do this fall is actually opening a pop-up store, which is really offline and a totally new area for me. So it's going to be very exciting. But I think it sort of ties in what we were talking about earlier, that you have to be where the customers are. In order for us to build a brand, we need to be in the offline world as well. So we're opening a pop-up store this fall.
Is it in Stockholm?
Yeah, it's in Stockholm, in Nacka Forum.
Oh, okay.
So we're opening in a couple of weeks, and that will also give us. I think this is going to be really exciting to try to connect the online and offline world in different ways. And we have a lot of ideas, but it also gives us more tools to work with in social media. It's easier for us to do a lot of beautiful Instagrams because we're going to have a store with a lot of beautiful products put together, and we will be able to bring journalists there and press and the designers to meet our customers, and we have so many ideas of things that we want to do. So that's the big next thing.
And that seems to be a trend too, in when it comes to interior design, and also the bigger online stores in like fashion, that they do like a pop-up shop or they do a showroom just to get the customers to see the products, because they're going to buy them online, and get them shipped home because it's easier. But just to have that kind of experience and the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it sort of gives you more credibility to your brand as well. To actually, it's just not an online store and you don't know where it is or if it's reliable. If you're in the real world, you can count on it. For some strange reason, because I don't think that's the truth, but that's the way people are experiencing it.
And maybe also like people who are not that kind of used to online shopping, to give them like a way in to start doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I shop most of my things online, but it was still, certain products takes a long time to get there before you actually dare to buy them online. Because of sizes, and you don't know if it's, if you're going to buy a painting, you don't know how big is it actually. Do I have, the right...
Yeah. And also, I mean, our products are great for gifts. And at least I know from my experience that, when you need a gift, you don't always have that much time to get it delivered, because it's like, oh, I'm going away on a party tomorrow. Jesus, I need something today. So hopefully we'll be able to provide that for some of the Stockholm customers at least.
I've actually done that already for our clients in Cedarwood, because I wanted something that they could buy anytime, and also I knew that a lot of our clients had kids and wives or husbands, so whatever they wanted to buy, they could buy for the whole family. Or if they don't want it for themselves, they could buy something for the kids, because they have, it's all of those different kind of things on the site. And it's kind of a fun experience to explore. So I thought that was a good gift. So I understand your customers. Because I'm one of them.
And I think that you already have a good base of fans, loyal customers who are really going to enjoy having a place to come meet and to kind of have to extend that community offline. So I think it's going to be really exciting for them to be able to gather together.
Yeah, I think so too. We've been doing some fairs and markets, and there's always somebody coming up to us and saying, well, I'm so glad I get to meet you. I get your newsletter, and I read about that you were going to be here, so I wanted to come by and say hello. So I'm really excited about this fall.
That's really like fan support.
Yeah, it is.
Come and cheer you on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you have something, you're a seasoned entrepreneur now, 6 years. Do you have like a saying or something that you think about when it's tough in the business, like that you remind yourself that that's something that gives you, energy to go forward?
Maybe not to remind me when it's difficult, but when I'm sort of seeing a challenge. I'm always thinking, you know, how hard can this be?
Mhm.
I mean, it's just go ahead and do it. Just decide to do it and do it. It's not brain surgery, so
Yeah.
yeah. And then it often turns out to be not to be as big of a challenge as you thought it was.
It's kind of an entrepreneurial confidence because you've done things before. You know it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just choosing not to be overwhelmed by the size of the problems in front of you. And in the same kind of mindset, it's not being overwhelmed by whatever competition that you have. It's just deciding just to go ahead.
Yeah, and also I think, you know, meeting a lot of other entrepreneurs and e-commerce people and being open about the challenges that you have, you learn that everybody is facing the same challenges and everybody is, you know, struggling with the same things. And it's very reassuring to hear that you're not alone and you're not, you know, alone struggling and thinking, well, oh my God, I have to quit. Everybody else is so successful and I'm just fighting and, you know, struggling to get there. But everybody's feeling the same way, even the most successful ones. So
it's just part of the business of developing an e-commerce site.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for coming over and talking to us.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to come here.
Yes, thank you, Maria. I think there was so much valuable stuff in there, especially for those people who are just starting out their e-commerce store or thinking about starting their own store.
If you want to join the conversation about e-commerce and PR, comment at startupcabin.com/Nordic Design Collective. That's Nordic with a C. There you can also find the notes and the transcriptions for this episode.
And if you know of any other great European startups that have good stories to tell, come over to startupcabin.com and tell us all about it.